Welcome back to the step-by-step setup guide to Home Assistant, where the goal is to help people just getting started learn the basics and have a good experience. Today, we will learn the basics to customize our dashboards, look at users, and there is an important thing to note about your profile. Dashboards. One of the questions you may be wondering, isn't the point of home automation to have your home operate smoothly without needing input from you? Yes, automation is a goal, but there are additional benefits to dashboards that I believe make it worth the investment of your time. For starters, even if you prefer a fully automated home that needs no input from you, your family may not feel the same way. A well-designed dashboard can go a long way with your family's comfort level if they can see everything they need in one place. A second benefit, not only for your family's sake but also your own, is easy access to manual overrides to your automations. Sometimes, like when cleaning a closet, I do not want an automation turning the lights off, and I need a temporary override. A third benefit is that Lovelace is not just about control. It is also great for seeing our devices in new ways. One glance at a practical dashboard can convey loads of important information. Lastly, I am a huge fan of using the dashboards for debugging. We are only going to cover the very easy basics here to get you started. More advanced techniques will be covered later after introducing Hacks, the Home Assistant Community Store, which offers many features to add to our dashboards. On the main screen. Right now, by default, Home Assistant is building a dashboard automatically for you, and as integrations are added, new entities will automatically appear here. They will be organized by area, which are rooms in your house, and if no area was assigned, then by entity domain type. These boxes are called cards. When you reach the point and have to do a lot of scrolling, you may want to consider taking control and designing your own. You can have Home Assistant take control again at any time by creating another new dashboard. In the upper right-hand corner of Lovelace, click the three dots to start edit mode. A pop-up warning will appear asking if you want to take control of your Lovelace UI. Lovelace is the dashboard UI you are creating for your family. This will not affect the admin UI, which is the sidebar on the left. Notice, the header is a different color and we are in edit mode. Each of the cards will have a row of tools at the bottom. These arrows allow you to change the order of the cards. Click Edit. This brings up the visual editor for the card. On the right, it shows the card as you make your changes. The left-hand side is pretty intuitive. Title of the card, show header toggle to control everything on the card at once, color based on state, and here you may add any entity you wish. You can click Edit here. Clicking the X will remove the entity from your card. Click and drag this icon on the right to change the order within the card. Save to exit. With these three dots, you can copy and delete cards and can move cards to any dashboard. It is possible to have multiple views in one dashboard. Click the plus. These here say optional, but you do have to pick one. On the Visibility tab, you can choose who in your family can see this view. Badges are the older style of displaying sensors before Lovelace existed. Let's look at some cards. Click the blue button Add Card. In this selection of cards, most are self-explanatory and have good descriptions. For more information on what these can do, click the question mark icon in the upper right to go to the docs. I would now like to show you my favorite card, the History Graph card. because I think its features are often overlooked. If you choose an entity with a number that varies, like temperature, this bar chart goes away and you have a real graph. The time period can be adjusted here. By default, Home Assistant is storing the last 10 days of data for every entity in your system using a component called the recorder. So obviously, if the integration was only installed an hour ago, there will not be much data. If you wish to see two entities on a single graph, I believe the y-axis needs to have a similar scale for both. Here are some examples from my dashboard. Here's a card of the wind speed. How bad was the wind from the storm last night, and how long did it last? Here's a card with two temperatures on the same graph. And this card is from 3 16-amp energy monitoring plugs in my kitchen. I live in an older house and am transitioning to small appliance electric cooking. Is my house wiring capable? No. This exceeds my comfort level if these two appliances run at the same time. Fortunately, the hot water maker is on a separate circuit. We need to run an additional circuit. And in the meantime, I can automatically disable a plug if the other one is in use. With Home Assistant, I am able to see what is actually happening here and how we are using these appliances long before we started popping breakers. And with just this one Lovelace card, I can easily see what's important, and there is no need to set up anything more complicated, such as external databases or setting up Grafana. Back to Lovelace. Click the three dots to start edit mode. Click the three dots again to manage dashboards. The energy dashboard is a topic for another day. There are some things to know about the overview dashboard. You cannot change the name, it cannot be deleted, and it is always the default dashboard. Here is where you can add a new dashboard. Once you have created it, click it again to edit. Notice at the bottom there is an option, Set as Default on this device. This causes confusion. Note, there are some settings that do not apply to all of Home Assistant. They only apply to the web browser you are using. This is one of them. So if you set this as default, as soon as you go to a new computer, your phone, or even your same computer but a different web browser, you have to set this again every time. If you don't, then you will see the overview dashboard. This applies to your family as well. Fortunately, there are only a few settings that stay with the browser. In the UI, go to your profile, your name at the bottom. Notice, here is our dashboard option again. I am not sure which of these settings will apply to all of Home Assistant and which only stay with the web browser, as there is no indication here of this behavior. Perhaps they all do, I don't know. I also do not know if these settings get saved with backups. I don't think they do. So be aware if you move to a new computer, phone, or restore a backup. If you experience problems, check your profile first. Next, I would like to show you where to set up your users. In the UI, click Configuration, People, and Zones. People are for device trackers, which we'll look at later. Users is the place to go to set up Home Assistant access. Once you have your users set up, you can go back to your dashboards and decide if you want them to see certain views or even entire dashboards. If you have a shared device, like a tablet to display your dashboard, you may want to consider setting up a tablet user account. Down the road, perhaps you may want to troubleshoot a light and want to know who turned it off. Without a tablet account, your account would likely be used across multiple devices. It is not practical to switch between accounts on a shared device, like tablets. This concludes the video. Join me next time, where I will introduce the Home Assistant Cloud, Nabu Casa, and the ins and outs of adding our Google devices.